Okay, guys. So welcome again to Time for Emerging Markets to what's within emerging markets. I'm your host, Jacob Fortum, and I'm thrilled to be here with a very good friend met in Boston about four years ago, and he has been doing some really interesting stuff, entrepreneurial endeavors and projects and startups that I think is worth sharing. So welcome, my dear friend, Park.
Hey, thanks, Jacob, for inviting me.
For sure, I'm excited, and
yeah, me too.
For sure, and I know his dear wife has also been alongside with him on the entrepreneurial journey. So just a shout out to her as well. And I definitely know both of them have done some great work. So I'm happy that Park is here, and yeah, Park, just give us an update. Please, first of all, tell us who you are, where you're from, and kind of give people a sense of where you're coming from.
Sure, definitely. So my name is Pak, and yeah, my real name is pretty long, and it's In Thai is Sompetch Katisomsakul-Founders, right? So it's pretty long, so call me Pak. And what about myself? Where I'm from? As I said, I'm from Thailand. We have the longest first name and last name, I guess. One of them almost close to India. Like Indian have more longer name. I have no idea, but how to get the name of it is super long, right? I was growing up in Thailand. I speak non-English. 10 years now. 10 years ago, I speak non-English, and I was studying in Thailand. And I was like, dude, I have to speak English, man. If not, I won't be able to graduate. Because my school is kind of, you have to be able to speak English and write in English to be able to graduate it. Okay. So I decided to go to the US to study English, right? So that's the time when my first challenge. It was super tough because, one man who doesn't speak English and have to drop yourself to the country that you never know is pretty tough decision at the time. Yeah. And I have a lot of friends. As Jacob know, I have a lot of friends, and I love my friends. I don't want to go out from the country. But eventually you have to, right? So I decided to just come study abroad, and that's when my journey started in the US. After that, I graduated, right? I was studying the hospitality, hotel management, and worked with Marriott for about 2 years. So I'm a very customer service man. You can talk to me about customer service. And then after working at Marriott in Seattle, I got influenced by a guest, like the customer who come to the hotel. And they work at Microsoft, they work at Amazon, they work at Google. And they was like, dude, why are you staying here? You like to learn, you like to talk about a topic that excited to the world, you like innovation. Why don't you go back to school or starting your own business? So that's when my MBA life started. At first, I was like a very corporate guy who just like want to go work in corporate, want to go work in the sales department, want to go work in the marketing and stuff in any department possible at the time. During the time, right, when I was in MBA, sorry, long story.
Yeah, for sure, please. I mean,
during the time when I went to MBA, Jacob know Min as well. You know Min? Yes. The CEO of the root test. Yes. So that's when my life started in entrepreneurship start there. And I learned about the startup. I learned about how to build the business from ground. I learned about how to be in the garage, right? People start from garage. I start in the apartment. Sorry, I'm not starting in the garage.
It's fancier to say from the garage. It sounds,
Yeah, it sounds nice, but we were the root test born in apartment. And then we went to the CIC, of course. Everybody knows CIC who live in Boston, right? Yes, exactly. One Broadway as well.
Yes, exactly.
So that's where we start my life over there. People would hate me when I say this, but I was staying in the CIC for like 24/7. So I kind of sleep there. It's against the rule. You're not supposed to be there at night, but I do because I don't have nothing to eat. We pay for the member, right? But then we have access, so we eat the instant noodle there. Well, we start our own business anyway, right? So you need to make yourself the most efficient out of the membership. Exactly. And I know that Jacob worked in what's this called again, Jacob? The
Impact Hub.
Impact Hub. That's right.
Impact Hub Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, Impact Hub Boston. I was next door. I was with Lauren.
Exactly.
You're close by. And that's how it started. And that's how my entrepreneurship started. So that's the story. But there's more. I guess I would talk to Jacob today, and we would tell more about it.
Of course. And I think you're the first person that I've come across that someone like you are excited to talk about, customer service. It's such a difficult, it's such a difficult space to be in, right? To really be someone that is excited about, helping people and, building the platform, and which we're going to talk about later, Sneak, that, is really centered around people, right? And travels and all that. So you're just a very unique person when it comes to that. You're very inviting, you're very welcoming. I remember when I first met you, I was just like, I need to talk to this guy, you just smile.
Dude, I have to welcome you any way possible, right?
Of course. So, for us to just go, before we really get into this entrepreneurial journey, I wanted to just ask if, as when you were growing up in Thailand, was there anybody that, in one way or the other, if you look back into your life, they really kind of, gave you this sense of, how can I start my own business? Was there anybody around you, maybe your parents or someone that you looked up to, that at that time you didn't know that, the person was an inspiration for your entrepreneurial journey, but looking back, you say, oh, this person actually was a guiding principle, or was a guiding light to my entrepreneurial endeavors today? Is there anybody in your younger self, that you look back and say, oh, this person really influenced me, gave me some, an inclination that maybe at the time you didn't know?
Sure. Before I know any entrepreneurship and into it, I was inspired by one person, right? Two. Let's say one person and the whole family. So I will talk about my family first. So my family, they're in more like a logistic company, but it's very complicated to explain. Like they importing goods from Thailand and export it to Malaysia. And we're all at the cross border, right? And my mom always teach me to do whatever you like and follow your dream, to be able to like overcome the challenge. No matter how you fail, that's the lesson you learn. And if you fall, it's okay to stand up and just like put your medicine there and continue walking. So that's the concept that my family have been taught me since I was young. When I fall down from the bike, they will never help me. Not like never help me, but they will be like, you must learn how to stand up. You need to be strong. That's the stand up how my family is, and I love them so much. They care about me a lot. Don't get me wrong about that. Yeah. But the way they inspire me is that they want me to be able to grow up, to be able to stand alone, to be able to face the challenge, to be able to, like, when you see the problem, you need to know that it's not the end of the world, right? You will find a way to be able to like overcome it. That's my family. It's pretty cool, and I love my family.
That's amazing.
But from the other side, for the people who I looked up with, that would be one of my brother. His name is One. In Thai is called Ning, right? So he is number one or something like that. Like his nickname is One. He was before I know his background, I was into him because he teaching me a lot of lesson. He is one of the entrepreneur who I look up to, but at the time he didn't inspire me to be an owner or become a business owner and stuff. But I looked up on him because he keep on telling me to keep on learning. That's the lesson I learned from him. He tell me that everything in the world, no matter one day you will have to know it. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. There's no choice sometimes. At the time, but now I know, I understand why he says so, right? After that, I start to search about his background. And he graduated from Harvard, definitely. I was like, oh, dude, you graduated from Harvard. All right. that's kind of makes sense. And yeah, he teach me a lot how to learn things. Because when I was young, I'm a very conservative guy. Like, no matter how older people tell you to do that, do A, do B, I would do C. That's how the way I am, and I always like challenge them, like, okay, I do C and it's work. But what about you? and this guy inspiration me, because when I do C, he's like, good, it's good, but it can be better. I was and my wife say the same thing. My wife like, you can do it now, but you can do it better. But you think you can do it just this, then be it here. But if you want to be better, then do it better. Yeah, that's my wife, man. I love her.
For sure. I mean, and just to even talk about your wife, because we wanted to get into that. And I mean, yes, I think family, for most people I talk to on this podcast, for the most part, family always seems to be at the epicenter of, just like values, but also like, that support network that they need. And so I, just kind of segue into how you met your wife in an Impact Hub. I think it was Impact Hub, right?
Impact Hub. You can say Impact Hub. I go there all the time.
So, but just please share with us, how, you not details into like all details of how you met her, but if you're willing to, you can share that. How was that experience? Starting something with your wife at the Brandfood Impact Hub, and just in a ways, how's like the working relationship at that time, and how has it been so far? And if you want to, you can share like the origin story, how you guys met and all that. I think for most people, working with their partner can be challenging. At the same time, it can be a very beautiful experience to really have very honest feedback and have that support from a professional level as well as on a personal level. So please feel free to share with us, your story of how you guys met and how you guys have been working together to build this amazing app, travel app, which we'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So how I met my wife, it's like how I met your mother, right?
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Like a legendary story. So we actually met in Root Test, the startup that I work, and I told you earlier, right? So that's when we met. We met online first. We never see each other, and then when we come to the meeting, we start to get to know each other. And the first I met her, we were in the meeting. Oh no, not at the meeting. We were at the meeting online already. And the first time I met her is like we're going to a concert together with her and Mint, which is my boss, Pires, at the Pires. Yeah, definitely the best boss ever. That's how we met. We met at a concert and we start to work together. We started to work together in group tests, and we get to know each other. We were friends. But when you get to meet someone who is this amazing, you can't just let it go, because she understands how struggling. She understands, like, I think she doesn't care. She doesn't care much about money, I have to say, in the way, but then she care more about the impact that we make. And that's the thing I like about her. And that's what inspires me all the time as well. So she would be able to encourage me anytime when I work. And when we work at Root Test, what I like about her is she will say things straight to your face that this is not going to work. And at the time we were like, okay, this is not going to work, but what next? So we talk, and this is the reason why I like her a lot. So she will be like, this is no. Something is yes, you're always right. I think this is how wife work too. Like when we relationship, I still trust her on her gut. because when she say this is not gonna work, oh, it will never be able to work. Because when I do that, right, when I get against her thought, it's not working. And when I do something that she said, good, let's do it, I think this work. Oh, it's working.
It's working. Honestly, it's good instincts. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so I follow her gut sometime, and I follow my gut sometime. But when I follow my gut and she's not approving, it sometimes fall. So my wife always right, and that's how Asian people believe in the wife. If you know that, Asian people they have to respect wife. To be able to continue the business. Yeah, but my wife is great, and she's smart, she's talented, and yeah, we met at root test, and I love the way she is, and that's how we become together. We become boyfriend, girlfriend, and we get married after all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I've got to know your wife a little bit, and I will second what you said. Such an amazing human being, and every other accolade I could add on to that. Someone who is really welcoming, inviting, engaging, and such a good compliment to you. So it's such a blessing, man, to know both of you guys and what you guys are doing and have been doing and are gonna do in the future. So I'm really excited for what you guys are gonna achieve. I'm just gonna be a good spectator just to see.
Oh, you will.
Amazing.
So much, man.
Oh man. So let's talk about Sneak. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's called Sneak, right?
Yeah, it's Sneak.
Yes. Tell me about it. I've seen publications in Thailand, how what you guys have been doing. Just please share with the audience what the app is about, and maybe what the vision and the mission of the app is, and kind of direction that you guys have been thinking of taking it in the next few months, or probably in the next year.
Sure. Yeah, so about Sneak, right? One of the things that entrepreneur have, and is one of the dream, is just trying to change something to be better.
Exactly.
So that's why Sneak was born. We are one of the innovator who kind of look into the new way of traveling. And that's why we create Sneak. Sneak is a visual-based trip planner that allowing you to plan a trip by just clicking or selecting a photo. So it is very simple concept, but it's very complicated to do it. Like, it's not easy at all to make it happen. Like, you have to face a lot of challenge. You have to work through a lot of technical stuff, and I love it very much. It was one of the best entrepreneur journey I have. Like, for the platform, we help a lot of people, right? People like who want to travel and they have no time. They can just select the photo and then put on our platform, or they can select it from our platform, and our algorithm will just run itself, telling the customer or the user how to go there, the budget they have to spend, where and how do they get ticket, what period of time they can go travel, and what's the best view there, and where is the exact location they can get that photo. So this is very important. Like, Sneak will bring you to the exact spot, and you will see the exact photo, because every season things change. Mountain Fuji, right? Mountain Fuji, there's always like a snow on the top, if you see, but when you go there in summer, they're just there's a ball, right? It's just no snow. You would not recognize it as the Mountain Fuji. But from our application or platform, when you search on Mountain Fuji, we would tell you a season as well. Like, in the summer season, Mount Fuji would look like this. In winter, it would look like this. Fall, it would look different.
Wow.
That's our goal, right? We just want to make this happen, and we're passionate about it. Like, all our team look forward to it. But the pandemic came.
Yes, the pandemic came.
Yeah. And how we make money is very difficult. It was difficult at the beginning already, and even more difficult when our partner fall apart. Like, we are a small company who rely on a big corporation. Like, we rely on Agoda, we rely on Klook, we're relying on Traveloka, like those unicorn people, because we need to get the traffic and send to them to earn money. So that's how we actually generate and monetizing our business. When we fall apart too, because no one can travel cross border anymore. Still now, and still cross border freely, right? So Sneak needs to pause, and I'm not sure if we would come back because the operation cost and everything. We fall apart by a reason. It's not like we don't have the passion for it, but if we continue doing it, we die as well. Like, yeah, you know, sometimes it's a hard decision. Sometimes you have to make a tough choice.
Yep.
To going or die, to continue or to change. That's one of the startup way as well. Like if you talk about the startup, sometimes you have to pivot yourself. You can't pivot business, right? We try and it doesn't work out. So we have to pivot ourselves to be able to get something new that would save our life and continue doing some other thing to make other impact. So that's what happened.
Exactly. I mean, the whole point of, I think there's this misconception of like, you know, you have to just keep on doing that same thing until it works. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, an idea has to come, that one particular idea has come to fruition. I think it's how you think of, because there's a bigger vision, right? And how do you, the path to that bigger vision can change, you know, and sometimes you have ups and downs to get to a bigger vision. And, you know, there's actually this book that was written by this Nigerian entrepreneur where in the 2008 crisis, he was starting a financial firm where they invest in small businesses in Nigeria. And during the 2008 crisis, which was at the peak of the startup, you know, once it was like a year into the startup, and they had to actually become a real estate company to survive. You know, they rented all their spaces and they became real estate agents. So far, I mean, right now they're a financial firm again, but they had to pivot for a while just to stay afloat. And they're actually one of the best financial firms in Nigeria right now. But in 2008, 2009, they were a real estate company, you know, to survive. But, you know, it's just going along to kind of what you're saying, that, you know, sometimes you can pivot, but you can always go back to that. And I think you're a very smart entrepreneur as your wife to actually see that it's important to adjust to the current climate, you know.
Right.
Kind of fit that into. But I mean, I know you also do some other entrepreneurial things. You have your coffee project. I saw. If it's something you want to go into that,
Sure.
Yeah, because I saw it's really exciting. I know it was not part of the questions, but
no, I think it doesn't need to be part of the question, but it's the same mission that I have for myself.
Yes.
My mission, right? Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. You asked me about the mission. Yeah, my mission, my life mission is to be able to increase 1% of the GDP in Southeast Asia. So that's the point, the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Right.
That's why I can't stop, right? You just need to keep going to be able to reach the goal.
Exactly.
And once you reach the goal, I may have next goal. But right now, that's my passion. I just want to help the people who live here increase their ability, work together with anyone, and grow the business and supporting the community. And that's how it is. Because I've been through a lot. If Sneak, a lot of people might not know and have a lot of questions about, like, okay, we do this, for example, we do business, we do travel app, but no one write the application, no one know coding, right? At the time we faced the challenge, our team learned how to code.
Yeah.
As I said, right, that's always the problem. There's always a challenge, but it's just the way how you solve it.
Yes. Yeah.
And the way how you solve it and how you solve it, I think, I'm sorry, I keep talking to the roof, but then, like, so we have to sacrifice ourselves, right? Come to the first guy who said, sometimes thing that you hate, you have to learn about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Accounting,
Yeah,
Salesforce.
we learn how to code and we build the platform and application. But before we build platform, you can't build platform without customer base. Like you cannot just build platform and just launch. No one would use, right? You need someone to, like someone to into it and someone who look for your product first.
Yes.
Like finding your first value customer, finding someone who would be able to try your thing. And I think that's how to start. And to be able to serve that customer, that's the king, how you get feedback. That's how I learned. And this is the reason why I start my new business.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's just so amazing. I think the concept of it, right, is just a very, it was very good for the pandemic. I mean, we're still in the pandemic. In 2020, I just watched those videos and it was very, stress. It was like a stress relief. He had this very soothing feeling. And man, it was just a very cool concept that you had. So I mean, what everything you do is just really, it's very thoughtful. You know, it comes with some customer insight. You know, and I think that actually serves its purpose. So, and thanks so much for doing that. I know it's a startup; you need to make money, but you also had a very good human.
It does.
Yeah.
You need to make money, man. The investor want you to make money. It doesn't matter if you make money or not.
Exactly. So I just kind of going to, in this just a general thing, question. So how is it like doing business in Thailand? What's like the general opportunities or challenges that if someone is trying to get in there to do business, or maybe a local entrepreneur, what are some of like the general challenges that they face as an entrepreneur in Thailand? It might be from lack of fundraising, or you need partners, allies to kind of get on your platform. What has been, or what is, let me say, two challenges that an entrepreneur first faces in starting a business in Thailand, or maybe growing a business?
One of the hardest part in Thailand is marketing. The marketing in the US will never work in Thailand. Like never. It's very difficult to explain, but Thai people have a different behavior. They follow the trend, and everything when it's viral, it's just viral. And when the viral gone, the market is gone too. It's very difficult in Thailand. It would come rise at a star, and you would fall apart very quickly.
Wow, that's scary.
It's scary. It's scary if you don't have your value customer, or you and you can't continue that train. This is the difficult thing in Thailand that I saw. And Thai people behavior is different. If you want to start a business here, definitely first you need to get a partner who understands the Thai market. Like it's very difficult. Thai people are super weirdo, and it's difficult to understand sometimes. They're just weird. Even I am in the Thai market right now. It is very difficult to understand the market. It's so emotion. If you have ever seen a commercial in Thailand, it's super emotional. Like the insurance company filming about the death of one person and giving the life, blah blah blah. And in the US, you will never seen it. It's super emotional, and everything is about emotion. Everything is about. I would say influencer base would start in Thailand first. Like if you talk about how influencer important, like how important influencer is, in Thailand 20 years ago, influencer already important. In the US, right, it's about product. It's about like how product would solve your problem. But in Thailand, it doesn't matter if the product is, people would use it anyway if the celebrity use it. That's the concept. Not talking about bad thing about Thailand, but that's the truth of marketing here. The second part is an advantage. When you want to start a business here, it is super easy. a very easy place to start a business, but difficult to scale.
Difficult to scale.
Yeah, because Thai language right now come to another barrier. Thai, they speak English, but not everyone speak English. And in Southeast Asia, everyone speak different language. I think this apply all the whole Southeast Asia. Like it's very difficult to scale your business to the country next door. It's not like you are in Spain and people speak Spanish. You can expand to what's it called? Portugal.
Exactly.
You can expand it to Portugal. You can expand it to some other country next by. But they speak the same. But in Southeast Asia, everyone have their own language, man.
That's true.
English is the only way to communicate, and not everyone speak English. So keep in mind on that. If you come to market in Thailand, this is the way. You just need to understand Thai somehow and find some partner, I think, to be able to start. But people love foreigner anyway here. You experience it. Thai people, they love foreigner. They're welcome.
Man, those are great points, and I think I from where you're coming from, I really understand. Also from from a very localized market like Cameroon, Africa too. If you don't know the people, if you don't partner with someone who understands Cameroon's economy, it's really hard to succeed. I think most African countries as well. I think most emerging markets, right? It's similar to Peru when I was there. Like having local presence or a local partner is critical in your success. But I do agree with you. I think South Asia, because of the different languages, it's really hard to scale beyond one country. So, I mean, great points, man. And that marketing too, something I have to think about. I didn't think of the emotion rights and trends and
But if you want to expand the market in Southeast Asia, you need to build trust first. Like for the country next door, definitely you need another partner that can speak their own language. For example, if I want to expand the business to Vietnam, I need to know someone in Vietnam who could help me, and I can't do that alone. It's just like what you said. You need to find the right partner, and right partner very difficult to find.
Yes, exactly. I mean, yeah, definitely. And let's go into now. Oh, I mean, I know COVID has changed a lot. Do you see any like opportunities? And I know your startups are capitalizing or are building on opportunities available in Thailand. Just your general sentiment. What are some of the opportunities that people can be thinking about if they want to work with you in Thailand, or just kind of start something in Thailand? Do you see opportunities where people can say, hey, this is where I can invest some money, this is where I can find entrepreneurs, including yourself, on how to be a part of the entrepreneur ecosystem in Thailand?
Well, entrepreneur ecosystem in Thailand started to get stronger and stronger. Startup, just to say, right, is the pandemic, and startup fall, and 90% of startup could not continue growing. Like it makes sense. It's happening all the world. Like you don't have the funding that come and push you to go continue. But this is the good sign. The new star is rising. It's the next generation. I would not say the next generation is still the same generation. It's like the next people who in the next period is start to rise, and they understand how the previous one failed. I think that's the most important part. They understand how the older brother, the older sister who work in these startup ecosystems fail. They understand how monetize is important. And at first, startup in Thailand, they just don't care about the monetizing. It's very difficult. But now I think they care more about like how to make a business out of it. That's the idea. It's great, but if you don't make money, you will not be able to do it, right? You're not gonna make it. And they learn more about the case that's happening here. And I think that's a good sign that the market would rise in the future. And a lot of corporate here starting to push startup now. Like before, it's very difficult to talk to the corporate, but now because of my period of time, we kind of educated the corporate. we kind of talk to them a lot, and they understand what startup is. They understand that we're trying to make something that would help them, would serve them to have a better option, or have they would have like something would increase their ROI in the future or increase their potential and stuff. Because startup service, right? Startup platform, startup idea would help a lot of things to happen. And I think this is about it. I think this is time, and I do believe in the startup ecosystem in Thailand, and I am supporting still. Like I kind of teach a lot of students and mentor a lot of students in Thailand to understand the market and tell them about like how I fall, and tell them about what good, what right, and what's not good, and who they should listen to, and how important the customer is. So that's basically what I trust, and I believe that Thailand ecosystem, either in the startup or the SME, would be better in the future after the pandemic. That's what I believe, but some people might not see it. But I have to say that, sometimes the worst night, there's always the light, and that light would shine brighter than ever.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, that's how entrepreneurs look at the world, right? Once they see challenges, they see opportunities that not only will become great business ventures, but also kind of be a stepping stone to the next wave of entrepreneurial, activities, and just rebuilding, not rebuilding, but actually starting a new ecosystem, right? Because people see so much value, and they see people resilient enough. But the resiliency and people that are really good entrepreneurs kind of distinguish themselves in really tough times. So because those people see the light, in the midst of all the chaos. And so it's pretty cool. And I mean, as a close-up, what is the advice you give to fellow entrepreneurs in Thailand, and just to the world? We have listeners from across the world, and I'm sure they'll love to hear how you have been keeping above the waters this past few months.
Above the water. Well, one of the thing I like about is from Star Wars, actually, from Yoda.
Oh.
It's like, do it or never. There's no try, right? If you think about it, you must make an action.
Oh, man.
One of the things how to make business work is not an idea. Everyone can have great idea, but no one know how to execute. So that's very important, right? Execution and discipline. This is what I learned for the long time, and I learned by myself on the journey that I face. Like, if you don't have discipline, if you work and then you know more passion, and you start to like, I'm not doing it anymore, it's not working. Sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes, even though it's not working, you have to keep on going. If you believe in it, you must make it happen. And if you don't believe in it, then there's no discipline, right? You don't have to work it anymore. But when you start something, you believe in it, you should keep on believing. You should make that happen. No matter how people, it happen all the time. People don't understand. When we talk to the investor and anyone as well, like people like, this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna work. This is, once your customer says so, your customer like, oh, this is good. I would like to give you more feedback. Oh, this is great. I never seen anyone done this before, and it's helped me doing so.
Exactly.
That's gonna work. And if you believe in it, you hear that from your customer feedback, and you be more customer centric, discipline, keep executing, following your dream and passion. That's it, man. I think that's gonna work. Things will start to change.
I'm so humbled that you were able to make it. I know this is not going to be the last episode you're going to be on the podcast, and definitely I'm more than looking forward to all the great achievements you're going to have with discipline. With your discipline, I know you're a very disciplined person, and the passion that you have is very consistent, and you keep going. I love that, and I think this is just the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, and I think there's a lot more ahead. and I'm excited to see what you're gonna be doing, and I'm always here to be support for you. So thank you so much for making the time.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for supporting. You've been supporting me so much since I was in Boston. You should know that. You should appreciate that.
No,
And I respect
no, always, man. I'm so gracious, and to your wife as well. Very grateful for her as well, and maybe next time she'll be here on the pod. So
yeah,
thanks.
talk to her.
Okay, man. Thank you so much for being here, and to all our listeners. This part of you're in Thailand now, right?
Yeah, I'm Bangkok now.
I'm Bangkok now, yes. Based in Bangkok, and such a pleasure to have him. So thank you, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, bro. Thanks so much for interviewing.
Sure. Bye to everyone.
Bye-bye.